Ramesh wakes up with a tired sigh in his small, messy room. The ceiling fan creaks above him as he rubs his eyes. His life feels like a never-ending cycle. Working a low-paying job he hates, watching his colleagues get promotions, and struggling to pay bills. On his way to work, he sees an old classmate stepping out of a luxury car. The bitterness rises in his chest. "Some people are just lucky," he mutters, blaming fate once again. At work, he hears about a job opening with a higher salary. His colleague suggests applying, but he shakes his head and mutters to himself, "They won't pick someone like me." He always ignores opportunities, believing life is unfair to him. One evening, while cleaning out an old cupboard, he finds a dusty wooden box. Inside, buried under some papers, is a sealed envelope with his name on it. He stares at it for a moment. What is this? He opens it and starts reading. His hands start shaking. It's a letter from his grandfather, written years ago. The letter says that his grandfather had saved money for him and left instructions on how to claim it. But as he reads further, his heart sinks. The deadline to claim the money had passed just a few days ago. His mind takes him back to the day his grandfather had handed him the letter. "This is important. Read it soon," he had said. Ramesh had taken it without much thought, stuffing it into his pocket. "I'll read it later," he had said, too busy on his phone. That later turned into months, then years. Back in the present, Ramesh grips the letter tightly. He realizes it wasn't bad luck that caused this. It was his own carelessness. As he sits in silence, more memories rush into his mind. A friend had invited him to invest in a business, but he had said, "It's too risky." His boss had offered to train him for a better role, but he had said, "I don't have time." Years ago, he had won a scholarship but never applied, thinking, "There's always next time." It was never fate that failed him. It was him who failed to act. Ramesh sits still, staring at the letter. His chest feels heavy, his hands cold. "Just a few days, if only I had opened it earlier." The words echo in his mind, like a cruel joke. He looks around his tiny room, the same room he has been stuck in for years. The cracked walls, the flickering bulb, the pile of unpaid bills. All this time, he had been fighting an invisible enemy: luck, fate, the world. But now, for the first time, he sees the real culprit, himself. Tears sting his eyes, but he wipes them away. Regret won't change anything. He takes a deep breath. The next day, when he hears about a job opening, he applies immediately. His fingers hover over the apply button. A familiar voice whispers in his head, "What if you fail?" He takes a deep breath. Then, with a quiet but firm resolve, he clicks. He reconnects with an old friend and listens carefully to his business ideas. He starts taking action, one step at a time. Slowly, his life begins to change. Not because of luck, but because he finally chooses to act. One evening, he carefully places the letter in a drawer, not as a symbol of regret, but as a reminder. Opportunities don't always knock loudly. Sometimes they come quietly, in a letter you never opened, a chance you ignored, or a path you never explored.